All right, guys, good morning. It is 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. So maybe you are just waking up. Maybe you are getting ready for work. Maybe your kids are down for nap time. Maybe you're just about to enjoy your Thursday. Wherever you are, thank you for joining. Welcome. Today is day 4 solution series. So, quick recap of what this is. It's a 5-day workshop series where we are going through the 5 snacking habits that could potentially be holding you back for any sort of health goal that you're working on. So, there was a variety of things that we've covered. So, we talked about pre-dinner snacking on Monday, post-dinner snacking on Tuesday. Yesterday, we got into parties and events and even things like meetings, whether it's for your PTA or your church group or any sort of club you're involved in. There's always snacks. And now today we are getting into weekend eating habits. Now, again, the purpose of this 5-day series is not to say don't snack, never snack. Nope, nope, nope. Because again, if you guys follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you're always seeing me snack on certain things, right? Maybe carrots and hummus, or maybe there is a time for popcorn. But the purpose of this is to talk about the consistency. Are you snacking all day, every day? And what do those look like? A, and B, and importantly, if you are working on any sort of health goal, and it doesn't even have to be about losing weight or fitting into a certain size, maybe it's brain fog, maybe you're feeling fatigued, or maybe you want to be able to engage in conversations more, but you just have that, that brain fog, or maybe it's energy that you're trying to boost to keep up with your kids, or there's such a huge range of health goals that you might be working on personally. And if you haven't taken the time to really hone in on these finite times during the day where you might be snacking for really no purpose, it's just kind of out of habit or out of an emotion, or you're just kind of filling the void of time, then this is your opportunity to really dig into it. All right. And I'm also not saying that if you have found that, yep, it's the late night eating that really is dragging you down. You never really realize that you eat every night after the kids go to bed, or maybe your husband is traveling and you're home alone by yourself. There are he's and you are home alone by yourself, or you just have that consistent late night eating. This is not to say that you can never do that again. It's just managing it, okay? So similar to my Manage Mindless Eating Method, this online course that I have, that's all about managing the times that you find yourself mindlessly eating, all right? Managing it so that you can shift your mindset to actually focus on what you're eating so you can ultimately reach whatever health goal you are working on. Slim down, tone up, beat bloat, fight inflammation. There are so many, boost energy. There are so many reasons that we want to up level our health, right? We're all very unique. We have very unique lifestyles, personalities, goals, likes, dislikes, cravings, situations that we are all in. We are all so unique. So even though I'm kind of giving some broader information throughout this 5-day series, it's really all about relating it to your situation. Okay. All right. I hope that makes sense. So if you have questions, obviously feel free to comment. Whether you are watching live or whether you're watching a replay, I always go back and go through the comments to see if there were any questions, any wins, any struggles. So a quick recap again, Monday, if you want to go back and watch that replay. So this is before we dive into the weekend eating today. Monday, we talked about those pre-dinner snacks. Maybe you're having half a box of crackers and a block of cheese before dinner every night. So we got into that on Monday. Tuesday, we talked about post-dinner noshing. So again, that late night snacking. And this is all about really, really important point, guys, here, really important. So if you lost me a little bit, if you're driving or if you're folding laundry, this is a point to pay attention to. One of the most important things about this whole series is focusing on why you're eating and not obsessing over what you're eating, okay? So you can buy the latest diet book, you can sign up for the latest nutrition plan, you can download a macro is why. Because let's say that you feel like you found the silver bullet, you've got the meal plan, you know what a nutritionist said to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Friday. This is the golden ticket. This is the nugget. but for some reason, nothing happens after you follow it. Well, that's where you have to hone in on what was happening in between those meals, what was happening late at night after those meals, what was happening when you had a weekend or you were traveling. So it's the why behind it. All right. So I'd said previously, if you guys want a free 5-day functional nutrition challenge where we can talk about those, inflammation fighting foods and foods for anti-aging, longevity, I can definitely get into that. I could talk about that all day. But before you can even talk about what you are eating, you've got to get into the why. You've got to get into the thoughts and the emotions that you have that are driving you to eat at certain times of the day. That's what it is. So send me a DM or post in the comments if you are interested in maybe like a part 2 to have a functional nutrition training. And I can come up with, I can look into 5 methods of following like functional nutrition, what it is, the purpose of it. But before I can even get into that, we today are talking about, and during these all 5 days, we're talking about why you're eating. Okay. So before we dive in, quick thing, if you don't know who I am Katie Hardy. I am a certified integrative health and wellness coach. And I stress the certified, guys, because I quit my corporate job to do this full time. I meet with women one-on-one. We talk about what they want for their overall health and well-being, why they want it, like why it's important to them, why they don't have it right now, what roadblocks are getting in the way, whether it's mental blocks or physical blocks. So why they don't have it, why it's important to and how to get it. And again, this is not me just telling you what to do, because you can go on to any YouTube channel or read any book of what to do, but I help you uncover all those roadblocks, creating that vision and moving away those roadblocks so that you can accomplish your goals based on your lifestyle, your schedule, your personality, your likes and dislikes. Alrighty. So I got my certification from Duke Integrative Medicine. So I was there for a week in October. I was there for a week in December. Tons of coursework, tons of exams. I passed my oral exam in January. I'm officially certified. This is my jam. So this is just to give you a little bit of insight into why I am a credible expert to be going through this process. And I've also seen my clients have huge wins, particularly in my 6-week Wired for Wellness or 12-week Wired for Wellness program, because when they start out with the 6-week, they always either end up adding on another 6 weeks or contemplate coming back. And if they started with the 12 weeks, that is where we see significant transformation. So let's get into it. Today, we are getting into the why behind your eating habits on the weekend. Okay, so the way that I've been breaking these down over the past 3 days is we start with when you do it, why you do it, and how to manage it. Okay, so for weekend eating habits to start, when you do it, why you do it, and how to manage it. So let's start with when you do it. So it's a weekend, and for some of us, weekends may start on Fridays, right? So I particularly chose Thursday to do this training because for some folks, we are much more inclined to start the weekend on Friday. So Friday morning, someone brings donuts into the office, or maybe sprinkles cupcakes into the office, or maybe you're at home and you like meeting with your friends for brunch on Friday mornings, or Friday night, you've got some plans. So whatever the case may be, for many people, weekends start on Friday. Now, really important. Again, if you've kind of drifted off, come back to me. For weekends, let's say that you've decided, weekends, I work so hard during the week at my job, as being a mom, as being a friend, as being involved in 5 different groups, and working on my health. Weekends, I deserve to just relax and eat whatever the hell I want. Right? I deserve this. We get that deserve mentality, right? So let's do some math here. And math is not my forte, but this is simple math. My forte is health and wellness. So if you are taking Saturday and Sunday, right? So that's 2 days a week, 4 weeks on average a month. That's 8 days out of the month that you're just kind of giving up on yourself, right? You put in all that hard work Monday through Thursday, maybe Friday too, and you're just letting it loose. So that on the weekends, now that's 8 days. But now let's say we add another day to that. So Friday morning, you're like, it's Friday. I'm going to get my muffin and I'm going to get a venti mocha latte with whip, right? Sugar loaded. carry the one, I don't know, whatever else you put in those things, vanilla syrup, and then you go out to lunch with your coworkers or with a friend, and then Friday night you're going out. You know, you're drinking the wine, you're having fun. So if you add on Friday, then that's 3 days out of the week, right? And that's give an average of 4 weekends in a month. So that's 12 days out of the month. And half of a month, sorry if you guys hear the thunder, it's been pouring down rain, thunder, lightning all morning here where I am. 12 days out of the month is almost half the month, right? So you do the math. I just did it. I think it's pretty accurate, but that's almost half the month that you're just giving up on your health efforts. So weekend staying in check is really, really important. So for the when you do it, you need to decide for yourself. And again, if you have the homework packet, I posted it in the group in the higher group a couple days ago, but if you want me to send it to you directly, just let me know and I'll send it right to you, okay? So you are able to decide here what days you do start kind of forgetting about your health goals when it comes to the weekends. And I say forgetting because, guys, it's so easy to forget a goal, right? I mean, you've got a work goal, you've got a mom goal, you've got a house goal, you've got a friend goal, you've got a community group goal, so many freaking goals, right? So it's hard sometimes to remind yourself, oh yeah, I did say that I wanted to lose 15 pounds, shit. And I just like went out to brunch and went to town. So it's up to you to decide, okay, when does it seem like I personally forget about my goals? Or I decide, you know what, F it, I've been good all week, I deserve this. So if you don't have the homework packet, then just write down now or put it in the comments, write down what day that typically happens for you. Is it Friday? And then is it Friday in the morning or is it Friday around 12? Is it Saturday? So try to get that feel. So this is, again, part of the when you do it, why you do it, and how to manage it. So for when you do it, figure it out right now, wherever you are, put it in your phone or write it down. Or if you're driving, just have a mental note of when you feel you start kind of caving in and forgetting about your goals. So again, today's Thursday, start thinking about it tomorrow, right? Start thinking about, wow, when do I get that urge to start getting those weekend vibes, right? For my overall health and well-being, particularly for eating habits. All right, so that is the when you do it. Now, the next part here is the why you do it. So what happens, guys, and I mean, part one, we got into this already, that you have that I deserve mentality, that I have been good all week long. I deserve to eat cake. But eating cupcake, and again, cupcakes are fine. This all goes back to whether you have a goal and whatever you're working on right now is not working, whatever method you're using for yourself is not working, and you see some consistent habits that you want to tweak. And weekend eating habits is an area that if you level it up and clean it up, you will see significant improvements in your health. So going back to that deserve mentality, if this is one reason for a why, like I've worked so hard, it's the weekend, I deserve to eat whatever I want. But how is that aligning to your goals? Why should your reward for deserving to relax be foods or beverages, whether in consistency or quantity, that are out of alignment with what you really, really want? What are some other methods that you could use to reward yourself for hard work? And, you know, maybe it is Netflix and chill. Maybe it is going to a movie. Maybe it is binging on not food, but Big Little Lies, right? So maybe it's getting massage. Maybe it's going out with friends. Maybe it's finally saying, hey, I'm closing the door, Hubs, leave me alone. You take the kids or whoever's around, and I'm going to read this book for 2 hours because I've been wanting to read it and I haven't had a chance. Or, hey, I'm going to the park by myself. I'm going to the library by myself. Whatever it is, guys. And if you're watching the replay or live, type in the comments ideas that you can do to reward yourself after having such a stressful week. Maybe you're miserable at your job, or maybe you're just kind of lost and you really want some personal growth in a certain area, but you don't even know where to start. Name something that you can do to reward yourself after a hard week that doesn't involve food or drink, right? We all get in the mentality of, oh, I had such a tough day. Give me the wine. Oh my gosh, I've had such a tough day. I need wine. Oh, we need to go out for wine, right? But what are some other things that you could do that don't involve whether it's, consistency or portion size, that you could reward yourself for that hard week. Okay. So I kind of really stretch that one out as in the why section of why you kind of lose track of your goals and your eating habits over the weekend. So another portion of the why is you're just out of your routine. You're out of your normal routine. Monday through Friday, or maybe Monday through Thursday, maybe Monday through Wednesday, you know what you're going to have for breakfast each day. You have a habit. You wake up at a certain time. You might be commuting somewhere. You might have, a certain class or program that you go to in the morning. So, whether you're working, not working, retired, we all have certain routines, right? During the weekday, like the way that the world was created, we have weekdays, which are typically work days, or at least some more structure. And then the weekends are a little loose, right? It's just the way that the world is. So one of the why of your eating habits and your overall health and wellness goals on the weekends is that you're in a different mindset, right? You're in a different routine. You're not waking up at the same time, or you're not, prepping meals to go to work, or you don't have your normal routine. So one of the whys is your normal routine. You're out of your routine. Now, if you have any other whys beyond, kind of being in a different mindset on the weekend, maybe the I deserve, I don't want to be restricted, and the being out of your typical routine, put them in the comments here. Sure, there's travel, and that's kind of falls under the routine, being out of your normal schedule. There's events. So between the two, let me know if you have another one that for the why behind why you kind of lose your eating habits. Maybe it's just the weekend vibes, or you're out of your normal routine. Okay, so now part 3, we talked about when you do it. Maybe it starts on Friday, maybe it's Saturday, maybe you can hold out, but Sunday kind of gets, you go to town on Sundays. Talked about the why, right? Now let's get into how to manage. Okay, so this is simple. So I'm really excited to talk about it. And this actually, we go deep into this in my Manage Mindless Eating e-course. And I actually just had a consultation with someone last night who went through the free 7-day email course that I had. And we talked about the optimal eating hours. And she was one who was eating every hour, every couple hours, right? She thought that you were supposed to eat every 2 hours, keep your metabolism up, eat every 2 hours, keep your metabolism up. But that's basically bullshit. So if you've tried it before and it does work for you, by all means, keep it up. If it works for your body type and your schedule, and you can eat every 2 hours and take the weight off, or feel really, upbeat and have that positive energy, sis, go for it. Keep it up. However, if you feel like you are grazing all day and you're stalled in your weight loss, isn't to. So I also have a blog post on this. So if you go to wholehearty.com, click blog, and scroll down, it's all about the optimal eating time spread between meals. And studies have suggested that 6 hours between meals is the optimal time for fat burning and weight loss, because you're actually giving your body time to digest the food. When you're eating every 2 to 3 hours, your body is still trying to digest what you gave it 2 or 3 hours ago. It might be small, it might be big. Now, you may be thinking 6 hours, Katie, you're freaking crazy. I would be a raging biatch if I waited 6 hours to eat. So the only way that can work, guys, and we can even call it 4 to 6 hours to kind of get you there. The only way that can work, you have super just meat before you go through that spread. So you need to make sure that there is lean protein, that there is healthy fat, that there are complex carbohydrates in there, fiber, greens. So you need the complete show before you can go 5 to 6 hours without eating, A. And B, you need to keep busy. It is so hard to have a great meal and then say, oh, I ate at 8 a.m. I can be good until 2, right? But you're home all day doing nothing, right? That is when it's really, really hard. But if you're keeping busy, you've got your meetings, you got your errands, you got your workout, you got your personal growth stuff, something that you're creating on the side, that will keep you going. All right. So that was kind of like part 1 lesson of the how to manage it. So keeping that in mind, that you really can spread, we'll call it 4 to 6 hours between meals. What happens on the weekends is you end up, anytime you come home, you think you need to eat. Anytime you walk in the kitchen, you need to eat. And if you ate, you go out to dinner, and then you come home and think you need to eat. You're just kind of out of it. Your mind is not as focused and routine and scheduled as it is Monday through Friday. So here is the secret. Are you ready? If you lost me, come back. The secret is whatever time you eat in the morning, it doesn't matter. Again, we are really getting into your whys. So, and not even really your whats unless you're trying to spread hours and hours between your meals. So whatever time you eat in the morning, maybe you eat at 7, 8, 9, maybe on the weekends you don't eat until 11. Whatever time you eat, when you take that last bite and you're done, look at the time. Look at the time and see what it is. If you're done at 8, add 4 to 6 hours. So that's between 12 and 2, right? Keep that in your mind. If you're done at 9, then that's about, right? So if you're done at 9, that's about like 1 o'clock is 4 hours. So between 1 and 3, you might be ready for your next meal. So one first meal of the day. Did you just have a bar? If you just had like an RX bar, then you might be hungry 3 or 4 hours rather than 4 or 6 hours. But if you had a super fueled, jam-packed, amazing meal at your first meal of the day and you're done at, let's say, 9 o'clock, you really could go 4 to 6 hours. So the secret is whatever your first meal of the day is, and you can use this during the week, guys, too. It's not just for weekends, but weekends it can be hard to, again, every time you show up in the kitchen or show up at home, you feel like you need to start eating. So whatever time you're done, add 4 to 6 hours and lock that time range in your mind. All right. Write it down if you need to. Get a Post-it note. You know, we all have mom brain, whatever type of, work brain, busy brain. So write it down and just take note of it and see if your brain is telling you 2 hours later that you need to eat. You've programmed your brain to say that you are ready to, or maybe 4 hours. So just play with it, guys. I'm not telling you that this is the, silver bullet to all of your health goals, but this is something that, again, the woman who I spoke with last night said she started implementing that and she ended up losing a few pounds rather quickly because she thought she was supposed to graze all throughout the day. So she started spreading out her meals. She said at first, it was kind of tricky, like her stomach would start growling, but then she started thinking about whether, like, is that really hunger or is it just kind of something that my body is reacting to because it's used to it. So, and this has happened to me too. When I was working full-time corporate at 10:30 in the morning at work, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm starving. I need to eat right now. But then I'd be pulled into a meeting for an hour and I would forget that I was hungry. So it's a mind game. This is all about mind games. So for my wellness practice, I call it a mindset-based wellness practice because it's all about your mind. It's not getting that silver bullet meal plan and saying this is the answer to all my problems. It's going back to why you're eating. Is it an emotion? Is it a situation? Is it a habit? There are so many reasons why we all eat. And again, it's extremely unique. So sometimes you have it's your schedule. Maybe you've got a busy schedule, you've got a different goal, you've got a different lifestyle. We're all very unique. So in my program, Wired for Wellness, it's a 6-week transformational program or why do I keep saying that? No, it is a 12-week transformational program or a 6-week Kickstarter. So I'm going to go into this now because guess what? The doors are open cart. You guys can sign up today through next week. So it's been a really, really busy summer and it's been so wonderful. I've got these wonderful clients who I just get so giddy about whenever I have my FaceTime or in-person sessions with them as I look at the chairs that we sit in. And I love sending them their recaps and their resources. And I love getting all their texts and their emails throughout the week. It just fills my cup. So I took a little breather to get this challenge ready, and I launched my digital course about maybe 6 weeks ago too. So now cart is open. You guys can now sign up for the 12-week, 12-week Wired for Wellness transformational program. So I call it Wired for Wellness because one of the things that happens is we feel that we were just not given the wellness gene. We say, man, I see, guys, I'm going to cough. So hold on. And I'm going to take water. Okay, thank you. One of the things we see is we say, I'm not wired for wellness. She looks like she understands it. She is in the business for it. She reads about it all the time. She naturally looks well, right? She is wellness. But that's not me. I just didn't get that gene, and I'm not going to be able to do it, right? Or we just feel like we lose confidence in that area. We think, man, I thought I knew so much about it, but I'm just not that confident in it. When it comes to making healthy choices, I don't want to make the healthy choice. I feel like I'm forcing myself. I feel like exercising is a chore. I feel like when I eat the healthy foods, sure, I'll shove it down, but I don't want to eat it. And I top it off with ice cream, right? So I call it Wired for Wellness because you can become wired for wellness. You can. I've seen it happen, particularly in the 12-week program. So I've got the 12-week transformation program and the 6-week Kickstarter. So the 12-week transformational program comes in four 3-week quadrants. So you've got weeks 1 through 3, weeks 4, 5, and 6, weeks 7, 8, 9, and 12. Transformation, from what I've been seeing with the ladies I work with, happens between 8 to 10 weeks. So I know you might be saying, but there's a 21-day fix and there's ripped in 30, And guys, I'm telling you, I've done it all, and there is no lasting change with any sort of 21-day fix or 30-day get ripped in 30. So it is really about doing the work to dig deep, to first really figure out exactly what you want. Because if you just say, I want to lose 15 pounds, well, what the hell does that mean? Why, right? How do you see yourself 15 pounds later? What is 15 pounds later going to bring you? And is it 15 pounds because it's just a number, or is it a certain number you want to get to? Is it a size that you want to be because that's the size that you were when you were 26 years old? Or is it something that you vision yourself? You have a wedding coming up, or you want to live till you're 90. You don't want to feel winded when you're taking kids, going hiking with friends. So what is that vision? So you got to start there. And then it takes a couple weeks to really work out the kinks because with anything that we are not familiar with, we get super uncomfortable about it. And we get the motivation, but then once we have to start implementing the work, it feels icky. We get toddler brain, and we just don't want to do it. It's really, really tough. And guys, it goes with anything. Even with this business that I started, there are so many techie things that I have to do, and I would just stall and procrastinate and do the stuff I'm comfortable with. But once I just sat down and did the work, it felt so much better. So that's what the beginning portion, those first few weeks of discovery, happen in this 12-week transformational program. So you're working out the kinks. It can get kind of ugly. Tears are shed, but you've got to do it in order to get over that hump. We all have blockages, and it's breaking through the blocks. All right. So that's quadrant 1. That's 1, 3. And I'm going to type in the comments here the website that you guys can go to, bit.ly/wired for wellness. Hopefully no typos. bit.ly/wired for wellness. And you can go check out the whole stack of information there, the difference between the 12-week transformational program and the 6-week Kickstarter program. So the other bonus of the 12-week transformational program, so we meet once a week for 12 sessions for 1 full hour, and it is truly life-changing. And it's led by you. I don't say, okay, so today we're going to talk about your nutrition. Next week, we're going to talk about your fitness. Because you might say, you know what, my fitness is good. I'm on a schedule and I don't want to talk about it. It is led by you. You're also going to see on this website here the 10 dimensions of wellness that I have been teaching for my clients. So stress management, so reducing their stress, optimal sleep, having meditation is a big thing that people are super, super interested right now. Balanced nutrition. So the majority of my clients do not want to be on a restrictive diet. So it's figuring out that balance of what is moderation to them. Everyone says moderation. Well, what the hell does that mean, right? Does that mean that I can have ice cream every single night if I'm healthy all day? So we get into that. A fun, consistent fitness routine that you're excited about and don't feel like it's a chore. So if you hop on over to, it's bit.ly/wired for wellness, then you can see the list of things there. I also do check-ins. So not only do we meet once a week, but throughout the week that I am not with you, I will will text you or email you 2 or 3 times. We establish that because I don't want to bombard you, but I don't want you to feel alone. So I have accountability check-ins throughout the week. So you get 2 to 3 of those in between our sessions. After every session, you read for what was, so you always go back to it. So you can see what your wins were. You can see what your struggles were. You'll see how you overcame them, so that maybe 6 months, a year down the road, if you feel like, oh man, I'm starting to lose momentum, my mind is starting to take over again. I was in such a great presence. We really transformed my mind, but I don't know, this season, this is a common season for me that I really start to, maybe it's the holidays, maybe it's the summer, that you feel like you start to kind of lose motivation, or it's a really busy season for work or life. Then you can come back to those emails of the recaps. And actually, I am considering building a separate environment for you, like a Google Doc or a Dropbox environment, so that you don't have to search through your emails to see my recaps and resources. You have your own separate environment you can go to. So that. But not only do I give a recap of your session and what action items you're going to do each week, but I also give you any resources that make sense for what you are looking to do specifically for your goals. So maybe you're interested in certain supplements and you want more information there. I'm training in functional nutrition. Maybe it is some like meditation and you don't know where to start. I can give you additional resources there. There are many different methods. Maybe it is working out and you don't even know where to start. I can give you resources there. So after each session, you get a full recap. We talk about the 1 to 2 action items that you're going to do after that session for the week that we are apart. And then then I'll send you any additional resources. So, and you're always on my mind. Okay. So I have a client who loves to take kettlebells with her when she does driving work trips. And so I received an email the other day that had a bunch of kettlebell routines. I sent it to her because I know that's what her doing. So I have clients, again, looking into meditation, looking into reducing sugar. I listen to all the podcasts. I read all the books. I have so many different resources. So you guys are always on my mind, and I'm always sending my clients additional resources. Ooh, that got blurry. Based on what their specific goals are, whatever their struggles and challenges are. So lots of perks. So you get the 12 weeks for transformation. So we are 1-hour sessions. And if you are local, we can meet here in my office. And if you are not local, then I do FaceTime, or if you don't have an iPhone, we do Facebook Messenger. We can do Skype or Zoom. I really like to see my clients face to face, because then I can sense your emotions. So I can see whether something made you smile, something kind of like lit you up a little bit. I can sense when you're starting to feel stressed or tense, confused, or crying. Tears are shed sometimes. So that's why I really do prefer to do some sort of face-to-face. So digitally, that's a little setup there, which is not very techy at all. It's FaceTime or Facebook Messenger. So it's really not that difficult. You get that, and then you get the session recap, and you get the resources that are consistent and in line with the goals that you are working on. You get accountability check-ins. One of the biggest perks as well, so I mentioned that I'm certified through Duke Integrative Medicine. So Duke has a proprietary wheel of health, which goes through their facets of wellness, of health and wellness. And they also created a proprietary assessment. It is a personal health assessment where you go through each of the categories and you rank where you are right now, 1 through 10, and where you want to be. And then you talk about why you say that you are at the number you are right now. So let's say maybe for nutrition, you feel like you're a 2 and you want to be an 8. So it gets into why you feel that you are your current number and what you feel you might do to get a larger number. So it's a personal assessment. And we go through that during your first session just to see what makes sense, see what stands out, what are your strengths, what areas do you need to grow in. So that actually starts out as our foundation. So you'll see on the website here, it looks like it did pop up in the comments, the difference between the 12-week transformation and the 6-week Kickstarter. The 6-week Kickstarter, still effective, but I can't promise that you are going to, go forth and prosper, because it is pretty quickly. we do 1 to 2 action items per session. So at the end of each session, we determine if you want to take on 1 action item over the course of the next week or 2 action items. And where I have seen the most transformation in the 6-week Kickstarter is when you choose 1 area of focus. So I have the 10 dimensions of wellness in the website that I put up there, the bit.ly Wired for Wellness. And it can feel like sometimes you start nutrition and you want to change to fitness, or you want to do both at the same time. The 6-week Kickstarter, I highly recommend choosing 1 and staying with 1. And then you really are set up for success. All right. It's 6 weeks. It is enough time for you to get the motivation and to get going and to get that vision and why it's important to you and keep moving. But the majority of my clients have added on an additional 6 weeks just to really keep it going. But again, it's up to you. So if you feel like you've got it going on, you've got a good sense of all of these areas, maybe it's, reducing stress or getting on a meditation routine, just that mindful life, trying to just appreciate life more. You know what to do for nutrition, you know what to do for fitness, then maybe 6 weeks is all you need. So that's why I give the 2 options. If you really want to start, get that kickstart for 6 weeks. Let's do it. But if you feel like you need a little bit more extra guidance consistently throughout a 12-week course to really transform your habits, then that's where the 12-week transformation is. So I can get into more client testimonials too. I have a woman who I worked with who was really ambivalent when it came to eating healthy and working out. And we really were working out all the kinks. What exactly was it that was holding her back? Like, was it thoughts from the past? Was it work stress? Was it mom guilt? And it took us a few weeks to really, really dig into that and get it out. So right when the 6 weeks was happening, she started to get the momentum, but she felt like she really needed to get deep into it and more guidance, more support, more accountability, more access to me so that she could really, really flourish. So she just literally, if you guys have heard Couch to 5K, she literally went from the couch to a 5K. So she had not run in 2.5 years. She signed up for a 5K and trained for it consistently. One of her goals before the 5K was to run 3 miles without stopping. She totally did it, ran the race. She has since signed up for another 5K and is looking to sign up for an 8K or some sort of like crazy relay race. She sent me her meal journal, and it's so clean and healthy, but she's allowing space. And I guess the biggest thing too is that she's not beating herself up after eating things that don't work for her goals. So it used to be, gosh, I ate this whole bag of candy and now I'm going to just binge the rest of the week because I messed up. I'm a failure. She's much more resilient. She might be like, oops, that really sucked. But you know what? It's time for dinner and I'm going to have a salad and I'll feel better. So her mindset is much more resilient. So the 12-week program really her. But I've also worked with clients who have done the 6-week Kickstarter and had great results. One client lost 10 pounds during the 6-week Kickstarter. So it's really up to you based on your goals and what you need. But I went through it. Again, it's all about mindset. It's all about having the certainty in your goals. It's all about having the support from me, the access from me. I'm so passionate about this and I know that it works. I've seen people transform their lives for the better and I'm super jazzed. So if you guys are interested in it, the link is here. So it's bit.ly/wired for wellness, bit.ly wired for wellness. And I will be putting it up on my website too. So let me know if you have any questions. Today was weekend eating. I hope that it was helpful. For your homework tonight, I had said it earlier, but let me know which day of the weekend that you start to kind of let go of your eating habit goals. All right. Is it on Friday, on Saturday? And let me know, is it morning? Is it lunchtime Friday? Is it Friday night? Is it Saturday lunch? So that is your homework for tonight. Start thinking about it. Tomorrow is Friday. Just be mindful. Are you starting your weekend on Friday? A. And B, write down the time that you were done eating your first meal and think ahead 4 to 6 weeks and see what happens. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful. Hit me up with any questions, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. We are talking about, I think, weekend travel. I have to look at my notes. So perfect timing too on a Friday, talking about weekend travel eating habits. Cool. All right, guys, have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow.